Hey everybody, Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. Today I'm going to do video 60 of the updated ACT3, and let's get with it. Okay guys, we're going to start over here. This is nothing you haven't seen, but I just wanted to show you that I still don't have the lights hooked up in those two trucks there. Boy, that was exciting, huh? Anyway, I'm pretty proud of Mr. G. He did this locomotive. It's a converted Conrail, but I'm trying to get kind of close to it because I was totally astonished that he did all of this paint on this locomotive with a brush. And it's very hard to tell that it was done with a brush. He watered it down, alcoholed it down, and used many really light coats to cover up the original logo on the locomotive and then renumber it. I think he's going to put that one up for sale. But anyway, I was just real proud of the paint job he did for doing it all with a brush. I thought the locomotive turned out really nice. Pretty happy with that, and I'm sure he's happy with it. So let's move on to what is new. Okay, the first thing that's new is I put the oil rig in here on this little flat spot, and it fits there. I'd kind of like you guys to tell me what you think about it. It's obviously an abandoned rig. After I got it there, it seems like it's a little bit on the tall side. I don't know. Let me back up so you can kind of get a better view of it. I don't know. Let me know if you like it there or don't like it there. I'm kind of mixed about it. I think it's a good spot for it. It won't be subject to any more damage, but I think it kind of belongs there. But let me know what you all think. As I pan around this way, there's not a whole lot going on up to the point of the city. I haven't done anything else in there yet. But let me show you what idea I do have. Okay, this is kind of what I had in my head here once I rearranged everything. Is kind of keeping the city down here where the city is. So I put all these houses together down in here. And the road would kind of curve out here and go down in between all these houses, and then come out over here behind the businesses. Once again, I still don't know whether I'm going to use that. Don't know whether I'm going to use that, but there will be some kind of industries. I'm hoping to get two of them in there. Two things to do. One of them is going to be a fertilizer plant, so I have some place to take potash to. So I've got to fit that in somewhere, and I'm not sure whether that's going here or down the way, and I'll show you that. And by the way, this is another locomotive that Gavin did. I don't know what his intention is with this one, but he always puts my railroad on them for some reason. But anyways, so let me know what you think about these houses here. And I don't, like I say, I don't know what industries can go on this siding, and I could extend this siding down, maybe another 5 inches, make it a little bit longer, a little bit more useful for a fertilizer. If I made the fertilizer business a little bit larger and had a dump location for the potash. But nevertheless, that may go in there. And let me know what you think about the houses being in here. I know it's hard to visualize with the just the pink foam, but I think it kind of tapers the town out coming down this way. And certainly I can put more businesses along the edge here. I'm still on the fence about either one of the two water towers. I can't seem to find any place that I like where they look, so I don't know. I just happened to run across this coaling tower. I'm pretty sure it's not going to stay here. I don't know if I'll wind up using it on the layout. It is actually a cheap Bachmann one with some detailing done. The tin roof and the cables to lower and raise the chute and there was a guy standing there, and I did do some handrail work on it and stuff like that. But it is a modified Bachmann. I've got some little sheds and some trailers sitting down in here. And then I want to back up here and just kind of pan down the yard. I also found my tie piles, which I haven't glued in place, and I don't know if I will, but I put them down through the middle of the yard. And now let me swing around and show you what I have been working on down here as another industry. Okay, you all might remember this building. This is, or was, Woody's Lumber that I had down by where the Helix emptied out on the old layout. I believe it's a Walther's kit, and it had some modifications done to it. Now it's got a lot of modifications done to it because this was a drive under on the other end when I had it on the other end of the layout and the kit. But what I did is I raised the building up, took the roof off, which I had to break off, and then moved it up, I don't know, scale 5 feet or something. So now the train cars and locomotives will fit under that for loading of lumber and any materials they may need incoming. And I'm kind of happy with how it fits in there. Let me get up here on a stool. As you can see, we have plenty of room back there where that knife is laying to get the road around the outside of the lumber yard. And I had enough lumber that I can fill up the yard there with lumber product and put a chain link. I'm planning on putting a chain link fence around most of it. At least that's the game plan. And a couple of the Woodland Scenics lumber trucks, which I have modified a little. I don't know if you remember them from the other end, but the one has black fenders and the other one's got primered fenders and grill housing and stuff, just to make them look a little different from each other. We've got lumber laying there, logs laying there. We have the tractor to lift the logs into the mill itself. There would be an electric motor or something that would rotate this up and dump and roll the log down onto the chute. The chute would go in, saw the lumber goes directly into the building, and then is milled, goes through further milling inside of the building. And then it comes out through that door right there into the train cars. I also had to pull these buildings all apart and put lighting in them. As you can see, it's got lighting underneath the overhang, and it's got lighting inside the building, as well as the sawmill has lighting inside. The only other thing that I intend on adding to this is probably some light poles outside and some way for electricity to get into there, because it's an electric saw in the mill. So we'll figure out some way to do that once we get the ground cover down here. Of course, the trucks will enter off of the road over there. That abandoned house is just laying there. You can see right in this area right here, there can be no industry there because that is the track going through, the mainline track going through. So there will be some houses or something along there of some significance, but I just don't know what yet. So as I swing back around here, another thing you can see is I moved the box factory down here. I don't know as I'm going to leave the box factory here. If I can find some place else to put it, or I may change it into something besides a box factory. Right now I'm calling it a box factory, but right now you can see that there's some supplies and pallets and stuff laying out there. This could be it could be anything. But it needs a little bit of repair. It's been down the road in the shed. It's a wood kit. I don't remember whose kit. But that'll go somewhere out here. The only other thing I permanently put down is this team track on the end of this track over here to unload trucks, tractors, anything that's can come off of a flat car or out of a box car or whatever. But that's going to stay there, I'm pretty sure. And there's my helper barking outside telling me somebody's approaching my garage. But anyways, so we'll see if this stuff seems to make sense. So I like the lumber mill here. I elongated everything to make it fit in a narrow, thin area, and I'm really happy with the way that looks. So we've kind of worked on the middle here, and we kind of have this middle bulge figured out, but I'm still kind of at a loss from the houses down there all coming all the way down here to this point. Like I say, I know I need a fertilizer company. So I'll have to see what kind of space I can fit a fertilizer company into. If I thought I could do a fertilizer facility in this area down here, I might even attempt that, even if I had to take that ramp out. But anyway, the fertilizer company's got to be coming. I don't have a building ready for that. A lot of these buildings are being reused off the layout, or the other layout. I think I'm going to have to build a new building for the fertilizer building. Let me step down off the stool here. And really, aside from that, nothing down here has really changed. I did dig out this tower here, which I plan on putting somewhere to control the yard functions. It'll probably also set up on cork, and it may go in this area somewhere here. I'm not real positive about that. Other than that, that's really about it. As you can see, I did have to hook up the lights in the lumber mill, which meant I had to do a bunch of under table work and put another box in, Woodland Scenics box, to plug all that into. I may have to put another box under there to just be able to plug up all the lamp posts that I put in eventually. But I think that's probably what I'm going to be working on next is getting the ground cover in there and putting the fence around the facility and all that manure. Because I'm kind of anxious about getting that going. Then I'll worry about building a fertilizer plant. So, if I think of something else, as you know, I'll add it. Okay, I absolutely tried to fit these buildings in down there, and it just didn't work. The Woods Furniture building is just going to have to go. It's just too large and it's too hard to cut up. It's already modified from its original state, but I can't use it here. It's just too big. As well as T. Leary Chemical. I may try to cut down T. Leary and use it in here somewhere. I think it's worth cutting down to see if I can try to do that. It may at some point turn into the fertilizer building. I don't know. I've just had a couple of crazy ideas about what to do with it. The other thing, unfortunately, that's going to have to go is Robbins Lanes. I'm not sure. I may try using that one on one of the T-Track modules. We'll see how that goes. Here's the container that I found all my detail stuff in. And I found another box with some buildings in it. There's some, I think you've seen those cut in half little company buildings over there. Anyway, I ran across this stuff, and I haven't found a use for it yet. And I'll show you one more item. I know it's probably not of any importance or anything to anybody, but here it is. There's the most recent model I got. It's a 28 Lincoln. It's from the Gangbuster series. And if you're unfamiliar with model kits, which you probably are, the Gangbusters were really cool kits because it was a very nice kit of the original car. Plus, it had all this crazy gangster stuff in it. It had bullet hole windshields. It had secret compartments under the floor with guns in them. It had violin cases. It had Tommy guns and a couple of figures that go with it. Always loved the kit. Found this one reasonably, you know me, and just couldn't live without it. I don't know if I'll ever build it, but we'll see. And I'm going to show you real quick what I am working on. Okay, I think I showed you guys this kit. It's one that I had Robin order for me. It's a repop of an old AMT kit. It's pretty decent. Here's how the body looks so far. I've got the decals on, got all the clear on. I think it looks pretty 50s-ish and pretty similar to what's on the box. That's kind of what I was going for, is the 50 hot rod look, and I think it came out pretty good. Other than the decals were a bummer to put on, and if I get real close, you may be able to see the bubbles and bumps in the decals there. I just couldn't get them to lay down, but it'll be good enough for me. There's the white sidewall tires and the chrome rims and the frame that I'm working on, and I got to paint this chrome, some of this chrome engine. I had to glue the hood in to get it to fit properly, so you won't be able to look at the engine, but you'll be able to see it from the bottom. But anyway, that's enough rambling about that. That's what I'm working on. I'm going to have to clean this up soon. I have a couple of customer locomotives to work on. But that's it for today, and we'll talk to you guys later. Okay, gang, I'm in here editing, and I've been meaning to do a little video on this MOV-AVI program that I'm using to edit with. But anyways, and I'm sure it's said differently than that, but I wanted to tell you all that probably the next update that I do on the layout may be done with a DJI Osmo Pocket camera. It's a small handheld camera with a gimbal on it, and it's used for blogging and all kinds of things. Eric over in Arizona has one. He and I have not gotten together and talked about the ins and outs of it, but from what I have seen on YouTube and so forth in the reviews, everybody seems to like it, and I'm thinking it might work good out here for videos and the things that I do, the trains and so forth. So anyways, the next time you might see it on that camera, and if you want to know what it is, look it up. Osmo, DJI Osmo Pocket. Check it out. It's a pretty cool camera. We'll see how it is if Santa Claus brings it or brings me a bag of coal. Okay, everybody. Hope you enjoyed video 60. Once again, I don't know why I always say this, but there wasn't a lot of progress, but I do have a lot of ideas floating around up here, just not a lot of time. Christmas time is obviously kind of busy for us, but and for everybody. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.